Welcome back to Society Case Files. Today, I'm going to be addressing a model in this set here. I'm not doing the whole set, but we're doing a specific one that was challenging enough that I contacted Games Workshop about it and searched everywhere to find a good tutorial on how to do the Curseblood character. This character has a step that is very, very tricky. And it's super annoying because when you look at the build instructions, they are just not clear at all. So like this section right here that we're gonna do is tough. And it's been a while since I've built this character. So I'm gonna go through it very slowly and I'm gonna make sure that we get through this part and that it is on video for anyone who gets this kit and get stuck here like I did, because I was so stuck on this that it took me 3 days to figure it out. I've seen a lot of people complain about it. A friend of mine did it and he had some struggles as well, even though I was able to provide some photos and such. All around, this model is a real tough model to build, and I intend to fix that today so that you guys have an easy to follow video that shows you how it's done. The funniest part about this is that when I got this set, I was sitting around at home and I thought, you know, I'm gonna run out. I'm gonna do the big model because it might be the most complex and then I'll just get it out of the way. And it turned out that, yes, I was correct. It was the most complex model and it actually derailed me from finishing the Trueblades completely. In fact, I don't have any of the other models done except for this one. I'm gonna grab that model so that I can use it as a reference and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and here is the model. I couldn't find it because I thought that it was not primed, and so I just overlooked it like 6 times. Took me like half an hour, which also tells me I have quite a few too many models. But anyway, we are going to focus on this under part, under the sort of bat-like membranes of the arm, because that part that goes up under there is the tricky part. So we're gonna get started here. Let me just set this aside. We're gonna use that for reference. And let's see, we're gonna grab 48 and 46. So the funny part is that it starts out pretty darn easy. And that is quite deceptive in the grand scheme of things. Especially when you get to the, to the difficult part coming up. So let's see, 46 is the leg. Let's see, come on now. There we go. 46 is this big old chunky piece here. So after multiple people had trouble building this, you know, myself and my friend and other people online, I realized that once I started making videos like this, that I should probably revisit this character, but it was kind of a pain because I didn't really want to buy an entire set of the Askurgan Trueblades again, because I didn't really feel like I needed to, but they can be used with the Soulblight Gravelords, which is cool, and really when it comes down to it, it's not that big of a deal. They're not super expensive, but I was able to get a pretty good deal on Amazon because I had a whole bunch of points thanks to buying everything for our new room. So I think I got the whole set for $20 to do this for us, which I think is pretty cool. All right, so this one is pretty easy. So you've got basically this flat part here that goes into this area here. And this part fit very easily when I went about building this model the first time. There's even a little groove down there that matches up with the one here. So there's a groove at the base, and then there's the divot that it goes into to sort of help you guide it in. I'm still going to dry fit literally everything on this model to make sure that we get it correct. And So just give me a moment here. And you can kind of tell because it's gonna be flush. Just like that. So I'm gonna glue this down now. Maybe. Okay, so while that sets for a moment, I'm going to grab one of our little clamps and give that a second. And I'm going to go grab another glue because this one is just not working out well, and then we will jump right back in. Okay, I'm back, and with that leg going, we need part number 47, which is a sort of loincloth here. I'm going to just cut that out really quick. Oops, missed. There we go. All right, so this is another easy part. It just goes over the front, I'm sorry, over the butt of the model. So once we get to that point, that's when we're going to get to the challenging part. So hold on here. So here's our model so far. Legs match up well enough. And then this back piece kind of matches up to the ropes. And you'll see that it does it pretty easily. Like, this is much easier than even the leg was. So I'm actually gonna glue this part. Feeling a little clumsy here myself. All right, there we go. Now, getting to the part that I'm somewhat dreading because it has been a long time since I did it. But the good news is I know I've done it once before, and more importantly, I have a reference material piece that we can check out if we need it. We're gonna need part 51 and part 50. Now, back when I did this before, it was actually hard to find part 50 for me. I got lost on that. Here we go. 50. Also, I think I threw it on the floor and lost it for 10 minutes. That was awesome. So far in the new space, I haven't actually dropped anything. I haven't quite christened it yet. I just jinxed myself. I'll knock on wood. Let's see. I think I missed that part. Nope. Oh, but this little tassely part. Pretty sure I got the neck. Yep. Come on out. Nope. Oh my goodness, there's so many connection points. There we go. Okay, so the trick is that if you look at the instructions, they're holding the hand and the part in this direction. So they do it like that, and then they suggest that this piece is just gonna just 2 arrows, just hops right in, right? Wrong. It's not that simple. I know I'm probably building this up way too much, and maybe it'll be really easy today, but I promise you this, it was not that easy the first time. Rather than try and do it the way they want you to, we are going to skip ahead. Because I mean, at one point I was like, maybe I'll just leave that part off the model. maybe it won't matter. And the other trick here is that this arm, as you can kind of see, the arm comes down over this. So the model is doing a really weird pose. So this arm has to be pretty far back in order to match the model. So that part matches up there, and then you can get this piece on. So if you want to do it the way I'm doing it, which is to say, skipping ahead, this part matches pretty easily, and I'm going to put that on. Now the trick is this doesn't have as much to hold on to, so we kind of got to be patient and give it a minute to set. Okay, so while that dries, I'm actually going to do the next part, which is to form this arm. We need 52 and we need 53. 53 is literally just a hand, and 52 is just the arm. With all this extra bit. Although, what I find funny is that this is pretty chunky on the sprue. Even when you just look at this, it doesn't quite look so big. And then down here in the construction phase, it actually looks pretty small. So I think they could have done us a better service if they would have flopped this on its side the way you would have seen it when you first found it on the sprue. All around, the instructions on this one are not the best, especially for the part that I'm drawing the other part for. When you get to that, you could just be stopped dead in your tracks, which is really quite frustrating, especially since this is the third model in the set that you're told to build. What I find most funny about that is that I did happen to start with it. All right. So the hand has a divot in the wrist, and you can just try and make that work. It's not super crazy. As long as you like the way it looks, it should be fine. Because this is so small and that contact point is so tiny. It kind of doesn't matter. And you kind of see my original version is sort of up and almost cupping. And I will attempt to replicate that here. I mean, you can't really put that much glue on this. And you can see how much that's just flopping all over the place, because this is like the tiniest contact point. I mean, this is Necron tiny. Okay, I'm gonna grab a clip to let this dry too. This model is all about the patience. You put a part on and you let it dry. This is not like some of the other ones that I built on the channel that is just go crazy and, you know, don't let stuff dry. No, you gotta let everything have its time. Like that hand, I want that hand to be mostly solid before I mess with it again. And the good news is that it doesn't have to go on for a bit. So when I fought to get this part to work, I was looking ahead a little bit, of course, and I saw this section here where effectively the small piece helps form this circle where this whole arm goes into the place. This angle, for whatever reason, just did not work for me. It did not help at all. And that was pretty frustrating. So hopefully what I've done here is going to make it make more sense. I mean, even if you look down here, the way they have this set up and the way they have that diagram, that just did not help. Like, really? How does that work? It needed to show this other side and how easily it matched up with that. But we're gonna grab 49 here and get the toe done in a moment. This is another piece that I just don't really understand why that wasn't part of the sculpt already. Why did we need to have that separated out? It's just a contact point that's gonna be troublesome when we go to put him on his base. Now he is on the biggest base, so at least in that regard, it's easy to figure out which one is his or hers if you prefer. There we go. Not that we are even close to this yet, but it's nice to have it out so that we can gaze longingly at the conclusion. The funny part is once you get past this, it's not all that tricky. There's not that much more to it. It's just funny that this one piece messed me up so much. I have really built this up. I think we're at 12 minutes of video right now, and I have built that up like there's nobody's business. All right, let's see. She should be pretty good to go. So now that we have her on like this, I was able to see that you can see down here under the arm that it comes into a point. And that is where we cram this chest piece. Now, the reason that they want you to put it on first is because you are doing some pretty serious finagling to get it in there. But when compared to trying to figure out how it fit without doing this, this is worth it. There it is. All right, so you can see that the part there under the ribs connects up, moves up over this part here, and then finally forms that O that I was talking about. Now that I got it dry fitted, we'll see if I can do that a second time. Because I'm going to put glue in here now, and I'm going to screw this up like you've never seen before. It's going to be epic. It's going to be exactly what I deserve for even thinking about doing this again. I think the universe was suggesting to me when I finished the first time, dude, you're lucky that you got it last time. You ain't getting it again. Oh, but I did. Oh, I did. And I did a better job than the last time. Boom. Chest piece on, folks. That's how it was done. There is the part under the ribs that connects up nice and neat, comes up over there, comes over here, meets this section, forms this O that this arm is going to attach to. Now, before I go on, I'm going to let that dry for a minute. And while it dries, I'll put on this toe part. Okay, foot on. So yeah, we're up to the part where we just got to take this arm and then put it on the model. And then after that, we're gonna basically just have to put the head on. Now notice that the head is in two pieces for some absolutely absurd reason. We'll take care of that really quick. It's 54 and 55. While things are drying, we can multitask a little. All right, so here's our little partial face. Makes him look like a little pig beast. And then the nose itself is so tiny, I can barely tell which way it goes. There we go. Yeah. There is a divot that's really hard to see, but it makes some sense. I don't know why they had to do it this way. It ends up making his face look a little bit segmented, in my opinion. And that's cheesy, but whatever. This model is not my favorite. Now his tongue is sticking out and it's pokey, so that might help you orientate it. And there we go. I got it. Head done. Now, let's go ahead and get the arm in place. Let's go back to the instructions really quick and take a look. So the arm is just going to come in at an angle and go shook like that. And it's actually not so bad, if I recall. It does kind of go like that. So it's just gonna fit over him like he's just swiped someone. And it fits on pretty well. So we'll glue this into place. His hand was not quite dry enough for my taste, but it's still intact. I'll just be a little more careful when I put it on. There we go. Now, let's get that arm in. There we go. That's mostly done. As you can see, got him in place. He's scooping a little more than my original guy, but that's okay. I don't mind that. We put the head on, and he's good to go. The head is pretty simple to get on there because, again, it has a very reasonable connection point and some good guidelines, the veins in the neck and that sort of thing. I wish it was a little more flush, but that's okay. Let's just get it on there. We'll base him, and we'll call this model done. I'll tell you this, having done it before and having possessed a reference model, I was able to do this in record time compared to how long it took before. All right, we'll base him, her, him. I've been a jerk about the gender, so my apologies, Curseblood. Maybe they is more accurate, I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. All right, here we go. And based. And voila, we've got it. Let me do my reveal video and we'll call this one a day. So there it is, the Curseblood from the Askurgan Trueblade set. I hope this helps anyone who had trouble in the same spot that I did. It sure did make a difference coming at it for a second time. I don't think it took me nearly as long. I only cut out about 2 minutes of me finagling with it before I just went with what you saw. All around, not so bad this time, especially when you have a reference model and now a video. Anyway, if you like this kind of content and you want to see more, please drop a like or subscribe to the channel. And if there's a model you'd like to see, go ahead and comment and let me know. Otherwise, thanks very much for stopping by today and have a good one. Bye now.